So I'm assuming I'm allowed to laugh at my own chaos, correct? I mean, that's what Marines do when we're in chaos, is we all start laughing. Like, it's just fun in chaos. We look at things differently when your head is to the grinder and you're in it. And we look at things differently. A lot of people will talk to me like, well, just so you know, I want to, everyone in East Tennessee, this is your East Tennessee update from me, from what I know. My wife, Sippy, her name on the channel, so she's an ER trauma nurse, and she keeps her finger on the pulse because she's a part of the emergency procedures and all that team effort stuff. She does that stuff. That's one of the things was the preparedness courses for hospitals and all that stuff. She wanted to be deep up in that stuff, so she is, and boy, has she been informed. And it's crazy, the stuff that's taking place. We had the Unicoi Hospital. You might have seen it many times. It made national news, but the Unicoi Hospital is completely unusable. It'll never reopen again. It's over for that place. The boats couldn't get there, for those of you that wanted to know. That river washed through there, washed vehicles away, emergency vehicles away, and washed boats away. The boats couldn't get there. They had to use helicopters. And there was a lot of rumor about Black Hawk helicopters and a lot of stuff, but there were a lot of National Guards on that have been helping with this. There's a lot of rumors going around that National Guard's not helping, but they are helping, and they're rescuing people. And that's all they have time to do. You know, they're not saving cats from trees or anything, but they're actually helping by rescuing people. And that falls in line with all the helicopters you've been seeing and hearing every night. So, let's recap here. The Greeneville Hospital has shut down. That's the second hospital. So out of 4 major hospitals, the Kingsport Hospital and the Johnson City Hospital, they're still up and going, and they're taking, I think Johnson City's, you know, they're having to divvy up these, you know, these staff and patients. So that's not any kind of information that can't be shared. That's just simple stuff. But a lot of the patients are having to go all over the place for different hospitals. So that's coming to the play of, well, there's like 2 major hospitals open now for the areas. And the reason for the Greeneville closure is because of the water. Now, some of you might already know this while you're watching. Yeah, I lost water pressure and the water stopped. So the reason for that is the aquifers, and the flooding has flooded over those, and they're completely underwater. And they're going to have to get equipment to fix that and suck everything out and all that crap. A lot of stuff that I don't do, but they said it could take, could be 3 days, it could be 3 weeks. So that's where we're at for that. The 107 bridge, it's not too far away. It got washed away. There's a few bridges that got washed away. The I-40 that connects us to North Carolina to here is gone. That I-40 entrance that everybody's being told, hey, don't go that way. Find another way around. You can't get through there. There's a complete towns washed away. Cities, little small cities, small towns, they're just washed away. They were, it overflowed so much that it just washed those places away. It went over the dam. Now I think it's an open spillway now, but the dam, it just went completely over everything. we're on generator. This is generator right here. What you're seeing right now, and you may hear that in the background. I'm not sure. I use so this is the reason for making this video is for a couple of things. So there's going to be a lot of people without water. They're going to shut the water off, and it's Washington County, Greene County, Unicoi County. There's a few other counties I can't think. It's all those counties that are in that big circle, the big circle there. Anyone connected with that outfit in that same utility company, it's there's a possibility it's all going, because a lot of the stuff's being redirected from another location and patched in to feed everybody else with utilities. That's come to part of it. And I mean, there's going to be a lot of things closed on Monday. Just saying, there's not going to be a lot of folks. There's going to be a lot of folks that won't be going to school. And they probably haven't gotten the word yet. But if they start issuing the water contamination and the boil water stuff, that's when they come out and they say, hey, you're gonna be boiling water, so you just need to keep an eye out for that. If you lose water pressure and your water cuts off, you should make sure you turn your water heater off. It's not good for your water heater to just sit there with no water coming into it and constantly running. It could catch fire, it could burn your house down, or it could blow up. You've seen Mythbusters, and they actually did a video. It's like, it was confirmed that you can actually cause one to blow up in certain circumstances. So make sure if your water gets cut off to make sure you turn off your water heater. And other things that you might think. See, that goes, the water issue, it's bad. It's like a tiny Teawaki, okay? So, just the best way of describing it. Sorry, look, if I laugh and you get offended, just get over it. We all have to be adults here, and see, I laugh at chaos. Now, the other thing is, with the water situation, I don't want to run through everything, and people have already bought up all the water. It's going to be hard to find bottled water at this point if you don't have it already, and this is why we prep. And this is the stuff that we keep talking about, me amongst my friends on the internet. When we have these little talks, it goes into, this is why you do this stuff. This is why you prepare. So you don't have to end up in situations. But for the people who are not prepared, you still have to lend a hand. It just comes down to it. I mean, they might have laughed at you while you were prepping. So what? You still have to go lend a hand. It's a short chaos. It'll be over soon. And people just have to look after one another. And a lot of people have lost all their stuff. They've lost everything, their homes, their cars, their pets. I think there's one video floating around the internet that's a total tearjerker for a lot of folks, that little pony stranded. I mean, it sucks, and animals are going to die. It's just the way it is. And you gotta toughen up. You gotta thicken that skin and get to work. It's time to fix it. It's all you gotta do. It sucked for us. I mean, the first couple of days, I mean, the rain's not stopping, and it's just chaos. And I'm over here. The first thing I did, I wanted to keep quiet. I'm like, well, I don't want to go rolling out my gas-powered stuff right away and start running my gas-powered stuff. I don't want to use all of my water up. I've got water storage, and I keep water tanks for the animals. It's like 500, 500, 500, 500. There's gallons, and I've got gallons and gallons and gallons of water reserved for the family. That just goes back to like fuel and water and all that stuff. I've had friends already offer to help. Say, hey man, we'll help you out. That's what we do. And it's like, and I'm just, hey, I'm okay. I've prepped for this. I'm totally prepared. But there are people who are not prepared for this sort of thing that do need that help. And that's who I want you guys to pay attention to. If you're already prepped for this sort of thing and you're good, or you're just another state over and you just want to help a Tennessean find the proper channels and get through. There's a lot of fallen trees. There's a lot of the back roads and stuff that we take around here to get where we're going, and if we didn't know that network of back roads, the wife could have never have gotten to the hospital. And it's like, go down one road and there's a fire because of a power line and tree in the road, and the trees are on fire, and like she's having to take her little Jeep and go the other way, and she gets to another road. There's a giant tree in the road, and then there's another power line. It's like everywhere there was a tree, there was a power line. She's like, and we're using rapid radios, you know. It's hilarious. We're actually using the rapid radios. Yeah, this one, yeah, I'm not driving into that. It's like spark, spark, fire, fire, spark, spark. It's like, I'm not driving into that. And it's like, well, you know, try this route. And I'd think of another one, and it's like, hey, that's a good idea. And sure enough, wow. It's like, I'm glad you thought of that. But there's a network out here in the sticks. It's a whole network of roads, and some of them are farm roads. They're, you know, we take tractor and farm equipment goes down them only, but you can still take those and it gets you out to the other side. So we take a lot of those too. Even though they're posted, they're like not that posted, but they're still they're posted to civilians. Like it'll say like it's meant for wireless network lines and stuff like that. It's meant for your towers and stuff, tower access, but you can still gain through those. There's a lot of that stuff around here, but it'll say, do not enter, we will kill you. Like, whatever, dude. It's like, whatever. Kill me if you can. So that's just the water situation. Now that aquapur thing, it's just a thing I do. I'm putting that in place. My kid, she likes to shove her. They dance around in that freaking thing, that bathtub. The kids like the bathtub. So what I do, I'm putting the aquapur in there for if you for some reason you need water for showering and bathing and all that stuff. I don't want to have to try and feed that up here. And another thing, we camp a lot. I've got a propane water heater. Propane water heaters are fairly cheap. Okay, you can get a propane water heater. You hook your propane tank up to it, fire it up, hook your water hose up. You can adjust it between hot and cold. It's got a shower head on it. Ta-da! You can hang that into your shower. Everybody can still take baths. If you've got water storage, you can use it for that. Take yourself a shower, clean yourself up. You're using soap anyways and scrubbing, so there you go. There's that. Bottled water, you should have plenty of it. If you haven't gotten it, you should have had it, but that's just all there is to it. But there's so many little techniques. If you need to flush your toilet and you don't feel like rednecking it and pooping in a bucket, you can always take some of your stored showering water. Like you've got like showering and cooking and all that stuff. You got to keep all this type of water. So if you've got that type of water, you can keep some on standby by your toilet and just fill that backboard up. Take your lid off, fill it up, and then give it a flush. There you go. If you're not doing number 2 too often, then there you go. Only do it for number 2. Don't worry about number 1. It's just liquid. So keep that in mind. I never talk about these things, but I do kind of talk about them. But anyways, that's kind of the situation with water. Now, electricity. I just want to touch on something real quick. This is annoying. But I want you to test all kinds of weird stuff. I've got a solar generator that I could have just used the solar generator. Got a solar generator. I could have just used it because it ran everything. It ran everything. Now, that's that Geneverse. I did a video on it. You can go look through my inventory for that Geneverse. But I used it for, one day I used it for welding. Anyways, that thing is crazy. It ran everything. 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes, a deep freeze, a big deep freeze. It's about a 4-deer. A 4-deer, for those of you rednecks. It's a 4-deer deep freeze. Oh gosh, just sorry. It's my sense of humor, man, you know. A regular fridge, ice maker, all that stuff. It ran all that stuff, okay? Ran the coffee maker, ran the toaster, ran the popcorn maker, ran the microwave, ran everything. But there was only one problem. Yep. Just imagine if I was in that Blackout movie, no one would have came. It was quiet. There's no noise. It's a solar generator. But there was one major problem that gave it a big thumbs down in the end. My huge solar panels didn't get any sun. And it died. Now, I've been doing this stuff a while. I've got, here's a shot of my front. I had to test this stuff out. I wanted to see if I could get any sun. But that's, I mean, that's probably about 1,000 watts worth of solar panels going on there. Those big long ones are 250 watts or something. But just take a look at this picture real quick. So that's from my front porch. So it's pretty funny. Now, but the generator had to come into play. Propane generator, something like that. I'm going to do a video just on it because I think that's important to talk about. But the dud part, man, I've got been on YouTube for so long. I've accumulated quite a few power stations just from doing the reviews of power stations. Power stations are great for like camping and stuff, but power stations don't last very long. They're a temporary solution to a major problem. If you're in a serious situation and you think using a power station is going to get you through, if you're without power for like 3 days, at least 3 days, you're not going to be charging anything anymore. Your phones are done. Your stuff's done at that point, because there's no way these little power stations will do the trick that long, and that's the problem. So keep that in mind. But I've managed to test all that stuff. The only one that I think lasted the longest was the Geneverse, because the Geneverse ran everything all at once. But I think it only, it was about 8 hours. It's about 8 hours, and I only switched over to it because it was already day 2, and I was already using my power stations just to give it a whirl when I needed power. So I had a power station on the deep freeze, a power station on the fridge. That was like the first day. But long story short, the tiny little power stations, they're good for like minor emergencies. Like if you're going camping, that's, you know, good example, because you're hiking most of the time anyways. And then if you're in a home situation where the power is going to be out for like 3-4 hours or something like that, sure, absolutely. But for these solar generator type things, you have to conserve the power. So you wouldn't want to run anything that's like major appliances, like anything that has to stay cold so your meat doesn't spoil. You wouldn't want to run a solar generator, only for the fact that they're completely unreliable. Because of the fact you need sun to keep them powered, it just doesn't work. So, but that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll keep you guys updated if anything else comes down the pipe. Just heed my warnings, and there you go. God bless. Take care. Stay safe.